We live? What's good, great people? I am Ezel Moon, and I'm here at the 1865 Fest with none other than Sekou Ali. Thank you so much for joining me today, my mans.
What's up?
Exactly. My first question for you, because now that I've learned a little bit more about you before this interview, it's kind of, I have more questions. But my first one for you was, you really told someone that was trying to rob you no because they have a man bun? Like in real life, you said, fam, no. Dress the part.
You know what? That didn't happen, but the problem is like, you know, I just see a lot of dudes. I can't respect the thugs. Right. It's like I'm old school when it comes to that. I expect a thug to be a certain way, and I can't respect new thugs. It's not.
I understand. You know, because you're not only a comedian, but you also have a day job that I would say impacts the thugs.
Yeah, that would come with my lack of thug respect. That's probably where it stems from.
But, you know, I wonder, you know, do you ever take any of those stories with you on the stage, and you know, or is it like, hey, you know, I want to keep this life separate and just go from like, you know, my other experience outside of work?
No. A lot of times, you know, I definitely bring work to the stage. Okay. You know, especially once I reach a certain point when it's like, you know what, the worst thing that can happen is I just retire. So I don't even care anymore. So you know what, I talk about work, you know, pretty often. So
that makes sense, man. I mean, an investigative guy, man.
Yeah, we should probably tell them what I do, because now they're wondering what work is.
Look, man. So my man's is basically DEA. No, but for real, what is it?
I'm a New York City Police Department narcotics detective.
And hey, so yeah, for all y'all that have narcotics, don't be around him at the festival, please.
Don't worry, I'm off. It's good. I'm off. Have a good time.
Good. No, but you know, I want to talk about something that you posted recently, and the reason why I want to talk about it is because, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand with, you know, with the festival. In my mind, you know, you recently posted that you were in the gentrified part of Atlanta,
right?
And that there was a sign that said, "We are listening. Black Lives Matter."
Right.
You know, what were your actual thoughts on that?
It's funny. I actually have a routine about that, because I worked the protest last year. Right. So it was and like I said, it was amazing seeing people from all racial backgrounds, religions, ages, and, you know, coming together. You know, for a common cause against police brutality, which any good cops against. You know, but the funny thing is, working in uniform is, it just got weird when you had white people yelling in your face, "Black Lives Matter," when you're black. And it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, am I going to argue with you? Like, do you think I'm going to say no? Like, and especially when I'm standing around a bunch of white guys, like, why don't you just yell at them?
Like, why are you looking at me?
Yeah, why me?
Like, fam, that's the thing for you. When the uniform comes off and you're dressed like this and you're walking down the road, and a police officer who doesn't know that you are a police officer, you know, how do you deal with those interactions?
And that is a very good question. Dealing with those interactions, I know I can honestly say I'm privileged. I'm privileged because usually you get stopped by a cop, I automatically identify myself. So the thing is, I don't have to go through what other people got to do the daily grind. And has there been times when I've been stopped when I know it was like, oh, this is some bullshit. All I did was pull out a parking lot.
Right,
100%. But it never goes anywhere, because all I do is show my ID. And that's it. So the thing is, I know that I'm privileged from that standpoint. But the one thing I also know is that I'm going to be black a lot longer than I'm ever going to be a cop. So the thing is, my experiences that I had with police before I got on this job, and even once I'm off, because like I said, they stop me when they do stop me. It's not like they know when they're looking at me. I had experiences working.
Jesus.
So, you know, only time I ever got a gun pulled out on me in my life was by another cop while working. So wow. So it's just one of those things. It's like, so I understand what's going on. So, you know, trust me, there's a lot of what people feeling. It's legitimate. You know, the thing is, it should not be ever downplayed. And the thing is, I respect it. And you know what? You know, we all hope for the best. Main thing is, you just want everyone to be safe. You just want everyone to be safe. You don't want anyone to have to fear the police. Because I always took it from the standpoint of, especially this. In my mind, I always said the only people that should be worried about the police is criminals. And even if you're a criminal worried about the police, if you don't take it to another level, the only thing you should have to worry about is getting arrested. That should be your fear.
That's true. You know, and it's crazy, man, because as a father, right? You know, on my end, like as I continue to, you know, watch social media and, you know, to navigate the internet, and I see the way these interactions go and how they get negative, you know, I worry for my son. You know, so I hope, you know, that if ever he's in New York, I can send him to you.
No doubt, brother.
Just thank you. I appreciate that. That way, you know, he can learn and, you know, get, you know, if he wants to, you know, take that route, I want to, you know, make sure that he sees a great example of that.
Yeah, and I think one thing we definitely need to do is understand is, I think one problem is there's such a negative perception of policing.
Right.
That we don't have enough young people who are qualified to become cops get into the profession because they hate it so much. And it'd be like one of those things, well, how do you change the organization if you don't try to get within it? Like, you think you can't be hating from outside the club. That's the way I always looked at it. And there's so many people, it bugs me out, there's so many people with 4-year degrees working at Starbucks and Walmart when, like, you know, you could get paid more doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you bother? It's just like, why would you wait? If no one says you got to be a cop for life, just do that. Do it for a couple of years till you get the job you really want. But at least you could say, you know what? If you are a good person and you're doing this job, that means you took the slot potentially from a bad person who would be doing it. And that's how you should look at it.
That makes a lot of sense. I want to transition into, you know, more about the festival. I really want you, from your perspective, you know, how do you feel events like this contribute to the history of, you know, how impactful Juneteenth is?
You know, events like this is great. And one thing is, being from New York City, only in the past few years Juneteenth started being a bigger deal, because, you know, it was always mostly a Southern thing. But, you know, as people started getting more culturally aware and more understanding and stuff, you know, I got family in Alabama, so I'm right next door. So it's like, the thing is, I've always understood the importance of Juneteenth. You know, right. I got a bunch of Bamas, but and especially, like, you know, with like my mom on my grandmother's side, you know, it was like they're from around Selma. So, you know, they march with King and stuff like that. And it's weird because I always hated Alabama, because, like, the last interesting thing that ever happened was Selma and that bridge and King, and nothing since that point. It was like, that's the last thing anybody talked about for, like, the last 50 years. It's like, they can't bring, then they filmed the movie. So it's exactly, they got the march of the movie. So, you know what, anything bringing attention to, like, you know, anything cultural and stuff like that, especially something on our own, to doing this, and especially including someone like me and all the other comics who, you know, because the thing is, the black experience is so vast, it's so numerous, and you got so many different voices talking about it from different ways, and that's what makes it a powerful thing. Because, you know, as they like to say, you know, they like to think we're all a monolith, but we're all different. We all got different points of views, different perspectives on things, and that makes it wonderful, how we all got to this point right here.
That makes absolute sense, man. I want to definitely make sure that we touch on, you know, your thoughts on it becoming a federal holiday, though. You know, do you feel like that is something that will impact, you know, us culturally, or is it something that you feel like will just impact all people in a manner to where it draws away from the attention of how really impactful Juneteenth is? You know. Well,
I can say this, that it's great that it's a federal holiday because everyone's for a day off. That's first. Second, you know, if you think about it, a lot of our black holidays aren't in the summer. So the thing is, Juneteenth, you know, it you know, now getting federally recognized, but it's like one of those things. We had King Day and Kwanzaa, and, you know, especially from New York, you're freezing.
Right.
You know, you don't right, we don't get to do it. You know, so we don't get to have you don't get to go out. You know, it's never one of those things. And plus, you don't even, and the thing is, I guess the nature of Juneteenth, it is supposed to be a celebration. We are celebrating our independence. We're celebrating our freedom. So it's one of those things that, you know what, I'm glad it's in June. I'm glad they made it a holiday. I'm glad it's something you can make a festive event. You know what? People want to plan weddings around it now. You know, that's going to be a great thing. It's going to be something that I think that, you know, I think as a culture, we just gotta love, because, you know, we finally got a summer holiday. And you know what? And now I think about it, we're looking at it the wrong way. Because it's not we have a summer holiday. If you think about it from this perspective, Civil War, right?
Right.
Why is it that I hear all about, whenever I'm dealing with, like when you talk about white people and Confederate pride, Southern pride, and you never hear about the pride of the Union soldiers who freed the slaves? I've never had that conversation with anybody in my life, with any white person saying, yo, my great-great-grandfather fought in the Union Army under...
Yeah.
You ever had that conversation? No?
Never in my life.
You could find 30 people around here right now who knows what their Confederate ancestors did.
Right.
And that never made any sense to me. So I also wonder, why is it from the other perspective, white people don't have pride whose families fought in the Union? Because this should be their day too.
I think it's probably because of the fact that, it's probably because...
Well, we know why.
Yeah. We know. We know.
There's not really a question mark at the end of it.
Yeah. This is rhetorical. Man, Sekou, I want to say thank you so much, man, for your time, for your energy, for these laughs. Man, I can't wait to see you up on the stage. And brother, man, how can we support you? How can we follow you? What should we do?
Well, sure. First off, you can follow me on Instagram, The Real Sekou Ali, DASEKOUALI. I also run my own shows in New York, Joke Dealers. Kind of like Coke Dealers, except with a J. And you can follow that on IG also, JOKEDEALERSNYC on Instagram.
Most definitely. Y'all, we're here at the 1865 Festival, and man, it's going down. Stay tuned. Purchase my book, Purple Mike Wants a Bike, at Amazon.com. You can find it there. Just type in Purple Mike, type in Ezel Moon, and it'll pop up. If you guys want to follow me, no, not even if, go follow me at Ezel Moon _ on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people.